welcome to the Writer Tribe Talk Show with your host, Elsa Kurt. Here's the place we talk about all things writing, publishing, and promoting your book. If you're looking for the perfect gift for the reader in your life, why not check out one of my books? They're all available on Amazon and most major online book retailers, as well as elsakurt.com. Record and go.
Great.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Writers Tribe Talk Show. I am your host, Elsa Kurt, and today I have Sophia Kelly Shultz, and we're going to be talking about her books and a whole bunch of other fun things. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's great to meet you.
It's great to meet you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I think I kind of got you short notice, right? We kind of did a quick back and forth. I was like, all right, how's this day? And you were so gracious and you were like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Is it gracious? I don't know. I think it could be eager or let's do this now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, and I don't know about you, but I think this speaks well to most, or I shouldn't say most, that's not fair. A lot of authors that we're a little bit more introverted by nature, which, people always confuse that with shyness, and we're not actually shy. It just takes a lot out of us to people, right?
Absolutely.
And,
my gosh, yes.
yeah. And I know for me, and you tell me if this is for you too, I know if I don't say yes, like immediately, I will talk myself out of it and I won't do it. Are you braver than me, or are you?
Yeah. I'll just
Yeah.
forge ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I try not to give myself too much time to think about something and get overwhelmed by it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll do that. I'll go on that show. I'll start that podcast. I'll do this book. I'll do all the things. And afterwards I start biting my nails, but
Yeah.
so I want to hear about you. I want to hear about your writing journey, because I know from reading your background, you come from an artist family. Both of your parents are artists. So tell me about that a little bit.
Well, I was apparently the one who was the heir apparent of the artistic part of the family. I have an older brother and two older sisters, and they're all very creative, but I was the artist. And so I didn't really go to school for it. I had one extremely good art teacher in high school who was awesome. And then the rest of it, I was kind of I wouldn't say on my own, because that has negative connotations. It was more like I struck out on my own. And but when I was in 6th grade, I inexplicably started writing. And my parents, artists, no writers in the family, they were like, we don't understand this. What's this? And so I kept writing all through high school and college, and actually I've been writing fairly steadily ever since, but a lot of fiction. And I have never had a piece of fiction published, which is really funny.
Very interesting.
Yeah, well, fiction is scary because they just really, but I am working on a novel that I plan to publish at this point.
That's exciting. So
Yeah.
I know, because I'm a good little researcher, and I know that you have a love of science fiction. So can I ask, is your novel that you're working on, is that the genre, the lane that it's in, or are you going to surprise me and be somewhere completely different?
I'm going to surprise you, because it's something that would be referred to as weird fiction.
Okay.
If I was in Latin America, we might call it magical realism.
Okay.
And it takes place in the 80s, in essentially the background in Philadelphia when I was at school, at the museum at the University of Pennsylvania, except we don't name it because, well, and there's an archive with a curse, and it sounds really silly, but there's it's got a whole lot of interesting. Here's me like talking about my book but not talking about my book.
It's what we do. It's our thing. It's good.
This is how we edit.
Yeah.
Right. So the one of the premise of the story is that the extrasensory perception or intuitive skills are integrated as part of the culture. And so there's actually a standardized test that the kids do in school to measure that, so that, if, because there are things that you can do, an intuitive accountant in the 80s would make a killing. So
I bet. Yes.
so we're dealing with the characters having some skills, not others. A boss who is absolutely impossible, but for really good reasons later on. A mystery of who messed up the archive and why it's cursed, and the curse itself, which is miserable, and all the people that go around it. And there is a fair amount of Egyptian mythology that's woven in, so it's not obvious. You have to look at it, you have to think about it. Well, wait a minute, oh, look at that. So, I've been working on that. Oh gosh, it was a fragment in 1985, 2 pages.
Wow.
And now it's 300, no, it's 108,000 words.
Fantastic. Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. Oh, so you're getting, are you feel like you're getting close to being at the end, or at least at the end of the writing portion of it?
No,
No.
no,
No.
there's a
No,
whole
not
bunch of stuff there. It's Deb will say the same thing. She writes test trenches, so we
okay.
don't write linearly. Mainly because I'll think of something and go, oh my God, I've got to put that in now, or I'll forget, and then continuity glitches galore. But so I know how it's going to begin. I now have the beginning. I have like this first 10 chapters to my satisfaction, and then it's moving along. But I know that there's still at least 200 pages left in it, that I haven't
Nice.
written yet. Yeah.
Very fun. Tell me, so I always have to ask this because I love hearing about other writers' writing style. Would you consider yourself a plotter or a pantser? Do you need to like have everything organized, or you just let it flow when you sit down to write?
It's a little bit of each.
Mhm.
My best friend is actually my chief of continuity and cohesion. And so I have timelines,
Okay.
not
Yep.
specifically outlines, but then there are times when I just sit down and go,
Yep.
and so there's a little bit of each.
Yeah,
And
I would imagine with a book of that magnitude and that depth,
mhm,
you would have to have like some sort of outline. I can't even imagine keeping all of that straight, all of so many details and factors to remember and to know. So yeah, I couldn't imagine doing that with something so in depth. I write, much light stuff. So and even that I have to go, wait a minute, little things like what color were her eyes again?
well,
So
I mean, yeah, I have this story, being as it is historical, it takes place in the 80s. A tremendous amount of research went into it, has gone into it, like a lot. When I say pages and pages and pages of notes, and some of it is Egyptology, and some of it is historical about the 80s. There's a fair amount about Chernobyl, things like that. And I got hooked on Chernobyl. I admit it. I am now a Chernobyl junkie.
yeah, you're talking about just in general, or are you talking about the actual movie or mini series that was made?
Not the miniseries.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I knew
Yeah.
they made one, and I actually put it like in my to be watched list, a little different than the to be read list, but same idea, of course.
Uh,
And I haven't gotten to it yet because I know it's like just it's so heavy, it's so deep. So
that's they we watched part of the first episode, and there's I don't know how familiar you are with the explosion at the Bridge of Death, which is where all these people were supposed to have stood to watch the pretty colors burning, because apparently it was really a beautiful fire. And then they all died, but it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and no one was on that bridge. So it's an urban
Ah.
legend, and they kept the urban legend, and it pissed me off, so I didn't watch anymore.
Oh, I don't blame you. I agree with you. You need to keep, especially something if you're portraying history, you actually need to portray history and not for cinematography
Yeah.
effects, right?
Yes. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
really,
unfortunate. I appreciate the insight on that though, because I did not realize that that was the case. That's good to know.
it's really interesting to read. I think in any historical reading is to find um, eyewitness accounts
Mm.
and material that was written at the time, because some of that is utterly chilling. You don't need a movie. You don't. Like the
No, no,
hairs
right.
stand up on my arms with some of it, when the guys in the fishing pond, they were fishing in the cooling pond, described a blue jet going up into the sky, and I got goosebumps because that is nuclear. It
Mhm.
was some kind of a thing. and
Wow.
and I just thought, whoa, so
Yeah. And you were able to incorporate a good part of that into the book that you're working on. That's pretty amazing. So we'll get some real good history out of
mhm.
this book too. So I have to admit, you already sold me as soon as you said it was set in the 80s. That was it. I'm an 80s girl to the core. So, you already have a guaranteed reader right here
Oh,
for that.
okay, all right.
Just so you know.
Yeah,
So no
yeah,
pressure to get
no
that
pressure.
finished or
Oh
anything.
my God, I'll just start typing now.
Yes,
um
please. Thank you. So tell me, so you have three books out
mhm,
now, published, nonfiction. They are not fiction books.
correct.
You have, so let me make sure I have it right. I am cheating. I am looking at my notes because I don't want to mess up. I know I'm that guy. Cheater. We have, and tell me if I got the order right. I think I do. We have the Stone Circle Oracle,
Mhm,
transformation through meditation, which I'm really excited to talk about. You have the Promethean Oracle, which is
mhm.
seeking the spirits. Oh, no, no, the next one, caught myself.
Wrong.
That's why I don't usually write things out. I have hideous handwriting. I usually have to type everything
Oh,
out.
okay.
We
Mhm.
just found out why. There it is. And your third, your most recent, is Seeking the Spirits of Palo Kimbiza,
Yes,
Afro-Cuban Religion. So they
yes.
all sound so fascinating, but I want to go in order if you're okay with that. If you're okay with
Yeah,
going in
yeah.
order. Okay. So tell me a little bit about the process and the reason for writing the Stone Circle Oracle.
Well, it was kind of an odd thing because my photographer is at a place called Goggle Works. It's one of those, they took an old factory building and turned it into studio space for artists, and then they have glass windows. So it's kind of like a zoo, and but my photographer was late one day. I had some art for him to shoot, and he so the person next to him was open, and she had an oracle deck, and I said, did you self-publish this? And she said no. And I showed her what I was having photographed, and she said, oh, you need to talk to my publisher. So basically I talked to the publisher. I put together a proposal, and like, to be to be quite honest, I pulled it out of my ass and sent it in with absolutely no thought that they would actually take it, and they did.
Wow. Wow,
So
that's incredible.
it's 50 cards, 45. And about half of those were already extant pieces of art, and then I had to do the rest. But so that while I was working on the ones that I hadn't done, I already was working on what they would be for. And the other ones kind of spoke for themselves right away.
Mhm.
So that was the process. And the book, one of the things I did was in the book I have journal space so that when you do readings with these cards, um, you can write down what you see, because I don't tell anybody what to see in the cards. I just give a story. And people describe this one as my kinder, gentler deck. And the Promethean Oracle is the one that will hit you over the head. So because
Yeah.
it's not fortune telling, it's more like, you need to think about this.
That's an important distinction to make, because I think as soon as people hear that there's cards involved, they automatically think that it's fortune telling, and that's not the case for
No.
either, right?
No. So and basically, I mean, I know people who get together like with their friends and they'll like once a month and they'll pull a card and talk about it, stuff like that. So, and that was actually a really easy process. That one was dead easy to write. It just like whoosh, right out.
Wow.
And then, so, I mean, I have the cards if you would like to see one or two.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that works with. Okay.
I would love to. And I know anybody watching would love to. And the poor people listening, they're going to have to go over to YouTube and watch it now so they can see it too.
So the cards are gorgeous. I mean, I was so surprised when they came. And so this is the back. I'll hold it up. Is that good?
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's beautiful.
So
wow.
And then you have they're extremely high quality.
Oh, yeah. Is that a Phoenix? It looks like Phoenix. Yes. Yeah. That's gorgeous. Wow.
So yeah, there's a whole lot of them.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. I love the colors, everything. It's so vivid.
I've been told, people will say they really love my color work. And what was it? This one is Spider. Spider is interesting. And that's my daughter who had a dream about a spider building a web over her eye.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I got to draw this.
That is stunning.
The card is Spider weaves dreams into reality. So it's about how you're weaving your dreams into reality, pretty much on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
And she has managed it. She's 28 and has a novel published. And she's already made some ridiculous amount in this is me gushing, in royalties. And I was,
that's phenomenal.
So proud. Oh my God, I'm so proud. She got a novel first. Ding.
That's so cool. And that's such a good mama right there, bragging on her girl. I love that. Yeah. That is fantastic. Plug her book, go for it. What's the name of her book?
It's called The Eigengrau Effect.
Okay.
And it's available on Inkett's publication site, which I think is it Gaia?
Okay. Oh yeah, it might be. Yeah, that's, I mean, I know that now. I shouldn't say like as if I know, but I know the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's available on there as I think as an ebook. And so she describes it as the main character is a cop who is accidentally a vampire, who is also a sex addict. And he's got all the things going on. And I love the way she writes dialogue. We laugh. She learned to write dialogue from watching episodes of Law and Order. So,
That's awesome. Brilliant.
And she's very, very good at naming characters and giving them background that's just fascinating, actually.
That's really, really cool. So that answers the unasked question, but that would have been a question. Has the gene passed on? And I would say quite obviously, yes, it has. Yes. Very cool. Is she also an artist with other mediums? I mean, I hate to say that like a writer isn't an artist. You are an artist, right. Just a different kind of artist, right? Does she dabble in other mediums like mom and the grandparents?
Not really. She has very, very good color sense, but she doesn't do anything with it right now.
Okay.
But she'll tell you, I mean, she'll look at a wall and I'll say, what color should that wall be? And she'll tell me. And she doesn't need a color wheel. She's
good. I'll have her come over and tell me what I should do, please.
And then I'll sell you a whole bunch of art to go on your walls.
Nice. Well, speaking of your art, I did take a look over, you're over on DeviantArt. And now what's your, I have it, but you're going to be able to say it faster than I can find it in my notes. What's the name of your actual page, or your page?
It's Badger Soph.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah,
Badger Soph
Badger Soph, yeah.
on, so it's like Badger Soph backslash deviantart.com. Is that right?
No, it's
Not even.
badgersoap.deviantart.com/gallery,
Thank
backslash.
you.
No,
Thank you. I'm gonna put when we're done here, when we're getting ready for production, I'm gonna put all your links and everything up, and I'll
yeah,
double check with you, make sure I have them right, because that would be a bummer if I sent them where they're not supposed to go.
yeah, that would really stink. So yeah, the badger thing is very interesting because a lot of talk is bandied about spirit animals and totems and things like that. And everybody wants to be a wolf or an eagle or even a crow or raven or a bear. And so I really was kind of casting around. And this was a while ago, and I was working part-time at a Walden Books, and everybody said I was bossy and outspoken, and I was sad. And one day, back then, I was doing portraits of people, and I had files of pictures of animals because people would ask for their portrait with a wolf or something. And one day I'm going through this file looking for like a lion, and there's all these badgers. And I'm like, nobody asks for badgers. Why are
Oh,
these badgers here? So I went and looked up badger as a totem, and badger says things that nobody wants to hear.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
and that so yeah, it also teaches you to know when to shut up. But
That's awesome. So I have a
so
question about that. So does your like spirit animal pick you, or do you pick your spirit animal?